On today's Joyride, we're going to talk about some misconceptions about breakups. I just had my friend Amy Chan, who runs a breakup boot camp, on my podcast, and we were talking about breakup misconceptions. And as you know, I just take a butter knife to all my shit. So I'm gonna, since it's top of mind, I want to bring that into this room for you guys. Also, since this is a joyride, anyone who wants to jump in, who's got courage, don't just butt dial me. Like, if you're gonna request, show up. I want to see your eyes. I want to have a real conversation with you. I have about 15 minutes before I get sweaty. So if you want to process anything, if you're going through something, if you want to chat, request to be live in the room. Also, I want to say that your story is going to help other people. So even though we're all going through different shit, in a way, as humans, we're kind of all going through the same thing, right? A lot of the same struggles. All right, let's go through 3 breakup misconceptions about breakups. And even if you're not going through a breakup, I think this will be helpful because many of us carry baggage and residue from previous breakups, especially if there wasn't quote-unquote closure. And this will be the first misconception, is closure. I don't really believe in this idea that something has to be completely closed with a bow on top for you to then kind of move on and heal. The truth is, because you're only 50% of any relationship, if you're waiting for an apology or an explanation or someone to be cool with you, then you might be waiting for a long time, because that may never happen, you know? Hey, I got someone who wants to come in. Oh. I think what happens is you start to get into a different relationship that starts to eclipse the old as you kind of learn, grow, have revelations. But this idea of something being completely closed, I think the idea of closure can actually not close things for you. Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you, John?
I'm well. Where are you calling from? And what's your question, or how can we be of service?
I'm calling from Ontario, Canada.
Oh, nice.
And yep.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I interrupt people all the time, so I need to practice allowing people to speak. So go ahead.
I'm actually really quite keen to have the discussion about closure, because there's so many different things about closure. How you can only get closure for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're saying the misconception is never actually really fully closed. So I find this very intriguing because of the breakup that I just went through. So I'm finding.
Oh. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you need for you to get closure? Like, what does closure look like to you with this last expired relationship?
That's a really
what needs to happen for this to be closed?
That's a really good question. And I always thought maybe I needed to have a conversation or send an email, because I kind of got blindsided. It was just out of nowhere. So it's not even like I could see an end coming or that things were bad. And I was kind of yeah, the end is coming. It was just one day he's just we're done. And I was okay.
So I have so much to say, because the blindsided breakup is one of the breakups in my brand new book, which is titled, Break Through Your Breakup, the 7 different types of breakups we all grow through. And I don't think breakups is a one-fits-all, right? So if you're going through a blindsided breakup, what is prescribed for you is going to be very different than, say, 2 people who are mutually consciously uncoupling because, their relationship has turned into flat soda, right? And so the blindsided breakup, it can be traumatizing. And so when you're blindsided, what's hard about it is it may have came out of nowhere, and then you internalizing and wanting answers. And so of course you're going to want some kind of closure. Those answers may never come. So the person may not email you back. The person might not explain. And so you're left with a lot of looming questions. And what's dangerous is you can start internalizing and think that it has to do with you and your worth or how you loved, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. So what would closure look like for you if it wasn't dependent on someone else's return? So whether that's an email or a phone call or an apology or whatever explanation, how can you close this up by yourself is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I have to find a story that I can accept about it. Like, because you know how you extrapolate when you have like try to make meaning out of ambiguous things. I think like I just have to find my own meaning in it, my own from it, right? Like because I'm never gonna get an answer from him because I don't even think he knows why he did it. So
yes, I think that's super helpful, but also know that every relationship and every human is complicated, and I don't know if there's going to be an answer. I don't think it's that simple, and also every relationship is complicated. There's so many layers and we change, and so I would start focusing my energy and my thoughts on what you want for yourself next and how you want to possibly redesign, reposition yourself, redesign your life and reposition yourself. Because I think, because let me ask you this, because this might be one way that might help you is what did you learn about yourself through this relationship? So instead of wondering why the person left and what you did wrong, what did you learn about you?
I learned that actually I can actually carry out healthy conflict resolution.
Okay.
Because
And then let me tighten the vice. What was your contribution to the expiration? What was your piece in this? Even though you're not the one that blindsided the other person.
No, that's a great question, right? Because I went over it a lot, and I think maybe I was expecting too much vulnerability from him, maybe like pushing for too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's
That's great. So I think the value in any relationship that ends is one's courage to examine the black box to see how the plane went down. Not to blame people, but to realize, oh, some things I can work on. Here's some things that are some of my shortcomings, right? Here's some learning about me. And then that's going to put you on a journey, And then on the other side of that, I think you'll be a lot more, quote unquote, closed. I think there's going to be a lot more acceptance, a lot more revelations, a lot more understanding, a lot more forgiveness. But I think we have to go on that journey. I don't think it's something that we can just kind of like do math, math with. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Well, thank you for calling in. Many keep late, and you're on that journey now. So be kind to yourself and be patient with yourself. And instead of asking yourself what you did wrong or what you could have done, because all of that doesn't really matter. Ask yourself what you learned from this, and what you want to bring to the table in the next one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Be well.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Trying to not say the word happy before Friday. So I'm going to say, what can I say? Can you put it in chat? It's such a knee-jerk to say happy Friday, happy Monday, happy Tuesday. What's a word we could put in front of Friday that is better than happy? I don't even like the word happy. That's why I say fuck it Friday. That's why that was my word. Cool Friday. Someone says cool. Restoring. Ooh, I like that. Yes, restoring Friday. Continue to restore through the weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Be well.